This is the Dynasty Roundtable, and we are in a new year, 2025. We took some time off for the holidays, but we are back, baby, and we're back in a big way because tonight on the episode, we have the geniuses of South Harmon here. That I don't even know what to call you guys anymore because you're affiliated with South Harmon now. It used to be Player Profiler, but Cody Carpentier, Matty Kiwoom on the show tonight. And as always, my co-host Matt Babich here tonight to talk to you about 2025 rookies. So firstly, how are we doing tonight, Cody and Matty, and welcome to the show once again.
You try to think of what to call us, Seth. Just call us your amigos. We're your friends.
The amigos.
That's what we are. We're the amigos. We're here for some 25 rookie talk. And I got to ask this question. We're already off the rails, not even 30 seconds in the show. Cody, does Texas have a chance on God's green earth to beat Ohio State?
Of course they have a chance. I think that here's the thing. We're keeping this short. And for those that don't know, I'm affiliated with Orange Bloods. Orange Bloods is part of the Rivals Network, and I cover the Texas Longhorns all year. And Texas has a chance because Texas has the second best roster in football next to Ohio State. And if Quinn Ewers shows up and plays a B+ or a B Quinn Ewers football game and the rest of the team shows up, this will be a good game, and Texas will have a shot to win it. And regardless of how it starts, I do think it'll come down to the final 5-6 minutes, and it'll really come down to who in the entirety of the game can control the opposing team's run game. If Texas's run game is limited, this is over, and Texas will lose the football game. They've only been limited 3 times this year, both times against Georgia, both losses, and then against Arizona State last week. They were vastly limited, but they ended up squeaking it out in the end because of special teams, etc. It'll be a good game. Don't get me wrong, but Texas pretty much does have to not run pure, but pretty close to it.
What were your thoughts on the matchups or the seeding? Do you think the college football playoff? No, yeah,
it's completely broken. I mean, everything. If I came in, Seth, and I said, all right, so these 4 teams are going to get buys, and all of these teams are going to play home games in week 1, and all the teams that played home games in week 1 won, and then all the teams that had buys lost. And all those teams that got buys also played neutral. And 2 of those teams were obviously not deserving. Arizona State, Boise State were not deserving of being the higher seeded team. But regardless, the seeding was broken, and the rate at which they play the games is broken. First round should be home games hosted on campus. Second round should be hosted on campus by a team that received bye, a.k.a. Oregon gets to host that game in Eugene, a.k.a. Arizona gets to host that game against Texas. That's proper. Now, it's still improper that Arizona State and Boise State got those buys. The buys should have went to Oregon, Penn State, Texas, and Georgia, because those were the top 4 ranked teams, and those 4 teams should have gotten the buys and then hosted teams. That's the proper way to do it, and I think they will fix it. It'll be fixed. I don't know if they'll be able to do it for 2025 season, but it will be fixed for that following season. I can almost guarantee it because everybody from the coaches to the media, everybody is not happy about it.
Yeah, I was kind of floored. I think I assumed, and I'm not as plugged in. Like I watched the film, and we're going through the film right now to go through these 2025 rookies, but like I guess I just assumed that there would be some home games for some of these higher seeds, and when I found out that wasn't the case, and the opportunity I think that's missed, just because college football is its own thing. It's just pure magic when it's done right, and there's all kinds of matchups throughout the college football season, like the Iron Bowl, all these great rivalries. It makes no sense not to tap into it. And the only reason I can really think of why they didn't do that was because, we have to sell the Fiesta Bowl or the Orange Bowl or whatever the case. And probably it was planned out, God knows how far in advance, but It just kind of feels like they overthought it, and yeah, I agree. I think there's some changes need to be made.
Well, the problem with that, and the one thing they did see with that was with the first round teams getting those home games and the second round teams not. They all want, the reason is like you said, the Fiesta and the Citrus and all these bowls want to have their bowl game at their neutral site, but the ticket price, the aftermarket ticket price, was a complete sham. Like I was talking to a guy that went to the Arizona State Texas game, and he was an Arizona State alum, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we got a great deal. We paid $240 a piece for these $600 tickets because we're alumni." And then I go on the computer the day before the game, and I'm like, "Should I drive a couple hours up to this game?" And it was like $40 to get into a quarterfinal. I'm like, "Are you kidding? Like, this is the market?" Because you look at it and it's like, okay, so think about for a team that played, and I know we're off on a tangent to start this thing. This is per usual when we get us together, but you think about from like a Penn State perspective. You look at Penn State, okay, they played the Big Ten championship, all right? So you're traveling from PA to Indianapolis. All right, travel, hotel, game ticket. First round of playoffs, you got a home game ticket, parking, etc. Fiesta Bowl, flight, game, hotel. All right, next round, semifinal, Orange Bowl, Miami, flight, ticket, game, championship, Atlanta, flight, ticket, game. You see, you just did there. You just spent like $4,000 in a month, not in a season.
More
in a month.
Right, more.
And, yeah. And you said more, Matt. Like that's
dinners, drinks,
balling here, but like, and that's not even for good seats.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
You're people can't afford that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that's what you see that the aftermarket prices going tanking, and you see people unhappy because it's like it's just improper. But we're in the wild west of college football right now in most facets of the game, and the playoff is no different.
Well, yeah, I think some changes definitely need to be made. But as you guys are watching college football this year, and as we get into this 2025 rookie class, I'm anxious to know, because you guys always add a unique perspective. Like Matt and I feel sometimes we get trapped in our own bubble, and we really start to like players, and then we don't really talk to a lot of other people. Like these last few months have been crazy for me, and I've had a baby, and we've been taking care of that. So we haven't had a lot of guests on the show. We're going to have more guests, but you guys are like our two first official guests that we've actually talked to with rookies. And I don't consume a lot of other Dynasty shows really anymore. I don't really have time outside of South Harmon, which you definitely should go check out, and subscribe over there. But what's your initial, I guess I'll start with you, Cody. What's your initial impression of this rookie class? Like strengths and weaknesses. You can really take this in whatever direction that you want to go.
Disappointed, but it was expected. We knew when we were forecasting, last year and the year before, forecasting about this class. And I guess we didn't really forecast Travion Henderson to be a part of it, but we forecasted the rest of these running backs, the Amarian Hamptons, the Nick Singletons, the Ollie Gordons, the Quinshon Judkinses. We expected this thing to be strong, and it only got stronger with Ashton Genty and Caleb Johnson and Scatabo and Dylan. All like the running back class has a chance to be competitive with that McCaffrey, Fournette class that is just like, made the NFL wealthy at the running back position to the point that you don't have to really worry about paying these guys because it doesn't even matter. We have an abundance of them. And in the inverse, you look at the quarterback class, and then you look at the grand scheme of the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and you go, well, we need them. We need them bad. And this class, not really. For fantasy, I mean, we might get a little something out of Milrow. We'll see what happens where he lands if he goes to like a Las Vegas or something, and it's just like, hey, you're gonna just be Richardson, like you're gonna be like Anthony Richardson. This is gonna be your opportunity to just go and burn it to the ground or go supersonic. I don't know, but the quarterback class is underwhelming as a whole, especially from the NFL perspective. Pocket passers, Shador's not that great. Cam Ward's fine, but still not that great. The receiving class is probably going to be the worst we've had in 4 or 5 years. There's a good guy at the top, I think. A guy that's second in line that I really like, but didn't quite fulfill what I wanted to in Luther Burden. And I think that the floor falls out really quickly in this receiver class. And before you drop down a couple tiers. And then the tight end room is fine. I think the tight end class is strong with Tyler Warren, Loveland, I like Mason Taylor and Gunnar Helm as well, but I think the strength is 100% the running back position. I would put that, like, if you're grading each position for fantasy, I think the running back position is a solid A to A plus. Between there, quarterback, you're sitting, I think, at like a solid D plus. Tight ends probably at B, and receivers probably a C minus. That's probably where I'd sit.
Gotcha. What are your thoughts? Go ahead. Sorry.
I think this is going to go down as the most frustrating rookie class of the modern fantasy history. And it's just a culmination of things. It's everything Cody just mentioned with the uncertainty of the quarterback position. I mean, we could have 2022 all over again, because at this point in that offseason, Willis has got to be the 101, right? They need him. They need Willis. Pickett, he's a round one. Matt Corral, he's probably the best in the class. Turns out the NFL said they didn't really like any of them. Only one guy went in the first, is in the 20s. Malik Willis went in the third. Corral after that. So there's frustrating to know there, because when you look at these quarterbacks, you can sell me on them. You can sell me that they're franchise guys, but truth be told, if Sanders' last name was Kiwoom, Shedeur is not going in the first round. Point blank period. I mean, we're talking about a former 3-star prospect who was good in college. But I mean, truth be told, do you want him to be your quarterback of your franchise? I don't know. Someone will. And then you look at the receivers. This receiving class reminds you of a lot of 2018. We had Calvin Ridley. You had DJ Moore. And then there was some Sutton in there. But remember, it took Sutton a long time to really come to fruition. It just wasn't a good rookie class in terms of the wide receiver position. There's no studs. It really lacks that star-studded lineup this year. It's going to be complete opposite of last year. Last year, look at the studs that turned out in the 2024 class. And then on top of it all, the frustrating part about these running backs is you're going to get a mix of 2024, but with 2017 talent. And what I mean by that is you're fooling yourself if you are sniping the 107, sniping the 110. Your best bet is a shotgun approach, because there are so many good running backs that the burden of the choice is going to be beyond frustrating. A lot like 2017, and a definitely lot like in 2024, where everyone was leaving their drafts with Jonathan Brooks, Blake Corum, Trey Benson, and the truth is they should have been coming away with Tyrone Tracy, and they should have been coming away with Bucky Irving rounds later. There's so much frustration because the talent is so saturated in this class that I don't want to choose. Because remember in 2017, you could think back that far, Fournette was the clear-cut 101. Well, you should have been taking CMC, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara. All of those guys proved to be better picks. And then you had Corey Davis. I thought Corey Davis was a can't-miss guy. Well, he fucking missed. Big time. And now we're looking almost at that exact situation. If Tet doesn't fire, and Cody's mock draft just dropped today, I highly recommend checking it out at Roster Watch. If Tet McMillan goes to the Vegas Raiders, that's the stone worst spot for a guy like that. And I'm not saying he's not talented, but they have no quarterback. They already have the best pass catcher. He's not better than Brock Bowers in a pure pass catching standpoint.
Yep.
It would be and Jacoby Myers is coming off of one of his hottest career seasons. This would be the worst spot, but it makes a lot of sense for that franchise to bring him in. I like the match. I think the match makes sense, but I hate it for fantasy. So
that's the Corey Davis, Mike Williams, though.
That's how you
nuke it.
That's how you nuke it completely. And now you're looking at it like either you be in for a penny. If you're gonna be in for a penny, be in for a pound, or get the hell out of there. And I've been doing this a lot. I saw it happen in my home league, and he caught a lot of flack for this, but I backed the trade 100%. He moved what will probably be the 105, 106. We have like a ping pong system, so we don't know. But it's probably going to be the 105, 106 for Chase Brown. And he got so much flack from this in our league because of all the running backs. And I'm like, no, give me the Chase Browns. Give me the one in the hand worth two in the bush for this class, because we don't know. We don't know who's going to be what. Because we already know that they're all going to be scattered across this league like we've never seen, because if they all declare, this class is 15 guys deep.
This is the great reset at running back.
Cody, we and you.
Leonard Fournette. I'm going to be starting next year. Yeah, in the UFL.
Yeah. That's right. Kareem Hunt, see ya. Gus Edwards,
UFL
see
practice
ya.
squad,
Devin Singletary, see ya. These guys are they're going to be cut out. And all of a sudden, you're going to be sitting there, either get 15 picks and just completely rehaul your team, or get rid of them all. Because if you think you're going to be able to sit in the pocket at 108 and walk away with your rookie draft nailing it, you got another thing coming. It's going to be so frustrating to put your finger on this class because it's so talent rich in one, maybe two positions. Because let's also not kid ourselves, tight end is deep in talent, but to project it is almost a fool's errand. I mean, don't get fooled by Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, don't let us spoil us all. We knew Brock Bowers was coming years ago. I don't care about Tyler Warren, what he's done. I don't care about Harold Fandon, what he's done. Colton Loveland, they're not Brock Bowers. So now it's like, are we going to go ahead and play that game again? Are we going to be hurt again? Whew, this class, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride, but holy shit, it's going to be frustrating when you're making these picks.
It's going to be a lot of late round picks. It's going to be one of those draft classes where there's so much unpolished kind of talent that's going to land in the 3rd to 5th round.
Yes.
And like you said, with the burden of choice, it's going to be the same thing in the back end too. Like deciding between like Tez Johnson or Jaden Beck, for example, like what late, 3rd, 4th round, one of these guys is going to break through. And I almost feel like, trade back, get a few picks in the bottom, half of your draft and kind of reset for next year. But then again, the NFL draft is one crazy bitch. So we could be completely staring at another end of the barrel where, the puzzle pieces work out to where now there's some clear answers. But like Matty said, yeah, it's, kind of an underwhelming class, but it's going to separate the experienced dynasty players, the ones that are paying attention, from the inexperienced. Because I remember in 2020, similar class that ended up happening. I chased, I thought Dobbins, Swift were going to be, surefire. I took both of them with my, 1-4, 1-5, something like that. Got burned on both of them. So it's going to be, it's going to separate the men from the boys here, so to speak.
Yeah. I have to ask before we get going, the great question hanging over this rookie class. His name is Travis Hunter. Is he just going to play corner and break my heart? Because I feel as though this could be the elite asset at the top. If there's a split at wide receiver, if he's 60-40 wide receiver corner. I know he got recruited as a cornerback, but I'm just going to say that we have a all 22 breakdown of Travis Hunter, and he's incredible. He's incredible. Like, he's incredible as a wide receiver. He's incredible as a cornerback. I think he might be a little bit better as a wide receiver. Maybe I'm nuts, but I just have to ask.
Welcome.
What are your thoughts there?
I think I'm going to ask Matty a question here at the end of this, but I think I'm going to open with this and just say that I don't think you're crazy thinking that he's better at receiver. Personally, I think he's quite a bit better at cornerback because of the art of the cornerback position and how hard it is to be elite at the cornerback position. And I think he fits the archetype to be an island guy. And the idea that you can draft a guy like him with the athleticism that he has, with the ball skills that he has, and the athleticism, speed, everything that goes into it, he has all of it. When you think about a DB, you generally think about, oh, the DBs can't catch. What does every coach say? What does every player say? DBs can't catch. If you could catch, you would play receiver. But here's the problem. The guy also plays receiver, right? He can catch. And what's scary about a guy like Dion was that Dion could catch, and Dion was a playmaker. And he literally called him primetime playmaker. That was him and Michael Irvin, right? They'd go back and forth. Travis will be that. And I wholeheartedly believe that. It's quite a bit easier to play receiver, in my opinion. He has to pick up 2 playbooks. Can he pick up that first playbook in an offseason? I 100% believe so. Can he pick up parts of an offensive playbook throughout fall camp and into the season? I also believe that. Do I think he plays full-blown both sides? No. Do I think he plays borderline the whole game on defense and probably gets between 10 and 20 snaps on offense? Maybe 10 and 15 snaps on offense. That's probably where I sit with that. And for fantasy, it's a complete fade just because you just don't know what you're going to get on a weekly basis. But I want to ask Matty, as a Patriot fan, and Matt Babbage, you can chime in as well. As a Patriot fan, I mock him to the Patriots. I think that's the best spot to go because It gives you 2 lockdown corners on defense, and you need as much weaponry as you can get on offense. And they need to go and get more receivers. Hopefully they go, try and get a T. Higgins or something. But from that perspective, as a Patriot, would you want that headache? Would you want the talent? Would you want to deal with that? What's kind of the thought there?
Quickly, I'm going to quickly kick it right back to Matty, but I personally would love to have a player that's so good we almost can't figure out where to play him. So that seems like a good problem to have. Like, he's so good we can't decide where we want to play him. So I'm very open to Travis Hunter and however we decide to deploy him. But what say you, Matty?
So there's 2 distinct differences between this decision by the Patriots. One, they get receivers. They go out and they bring in T. Higgins plus Amari Cooper plus DeAndre Hopkins plus, 2 no doubters in free agency. And there's not a lot of not unicorns, but special receivers out there. It's T. Higgins and then a lot of old guys, but old guys with talent and old guys who command the respect of a defense. So if the Patriots bring in 2 of those, I would love the Travis Hunter draft pick at 4, because you're right. The talent there, the specialty, just to be able to get the Heisman Trophy winner at this unique position, of course, makes your team better. The other side of that coin, however, if they go into the season looking kind of like they do now, this would be his worst landing spot in terms of realizing his talent, but it would be the best for fantasy. And here's why. In my opinion, from watching Travis Hunter, what made him the Heisman Trophy winner, what made him so special, was his ability to take over a game wholeheartedly, both sides of the ball. And for him to really capture that, in my opinion, he's going to play a lot of corner and specialty package delivered offensive snaps. I think that's the best way he can go at it. In New England, he comes in as the second best corner and the savior to the offense. Not what fits his trajectory of achieving his true talent. Now, if he goes to a team like the Jaguars with a Ben Johnson, let's say, that's the best landing spot. The number 1 cornerback. Then he can play some snaps with BTJ, with Christian Kirk, kind of just strategically be placed in there and make a difference as opposed to the volume. But if he goes to New England immediately, and Matt, you know this, how bad this Patriots team is, he is going to be looked upon like Justin Jefferson, like Jamar Chase. He will be brought in as the savior to the offense if this is the team now, because he will be leaps and bounds the best player on offense other than Drake May. And yet, at best, even if he achieves his 85th, 90th percentile outcome as a rookie, he's the number 2 corner. That doesn't help this team. Getting a number 2 corner, even as elite as Travis Hunter, doesn't help the progression of this team like a number 1 receiver would. And because of the pressure, and because this isn't a gimmick, it would be leaps and bounds the best offensive player on this team other than Drake May. And it wouldn't be close. And he would be asked to do those things. The fan base would demand those things. And eventually, the coaching staff, all this, if they don't make the right hires, the trajectory that they're on as a franchise would be a horrible pick getting Travis Hunter. Horrible pick for him. Unless, like I said, they bring in the Vrabel, they bring in a guy who can build a program, they get offensive weapons, and he can then do this number 2 corner, number 3 receiver, and just strategically be played, because he might be the Shohei Ohtani of football, maybe. But I've been around almost 40 years now, and I've never seen a Shohei until Shohei, and I still have never seen that version in football. So maybe he's the one of one. Maybe he's the guy that breaks the trend. Maybe he's the chosen one. Maybe. I'm going to go against that until I see it. So I think the worst thing for him is to burn him out, volume on both sides. And the Patriots would demand that because he would be the best play kid. But for fantasy, we're about to roll this mock draft real soon. If you're saying that he's the number 1 pass catcher on the Patriots, he might be the 102 in this draft. Like, I do believe that talent is there if they're just going to make him the receiver and be Drake May's number 1 pass catcher, because by no means of his own volition, he will be thrust upon that role, because it's how starved this team is. With pass catchers, but he would be good for fantasy. That's his best fantasy outcome.
Yeah, I'll always defer ball knowledge to Cody and Matty, like, first and foremost. But just why can't he be a number 2 receiver and like a number 2-3 corner?
He could, for sure, but not in the Patriots. He'd be the number 1. But
that's the issue. So you put it perfectly right. Like if he gets drafted and that's your plan with him, it's very hard to achieve that in year 1 because he's got to be full offense, and then you're talking maybe some special package defense, and that's not necessarily, like you said, maximizing his talent. And then you look at the free agent market; it really all just revolves around T. Higgins. It's T. Higgins or bust in terms of that plan. Personally, I think, trade back maybe Kelvin Banks, just get the tackle, get the offensive lineman, and just begin to shape up that protection package around Drake May. But talent is talent. I think there are a lot of ways to misuse him and have it go wrong. But at the end, if it's draft day right now and Travis Hunter comes across that screen, I'll shake my head and say, all right, we got a really talented player. Now let's do the right thing. Let's figure this out.
I'll say this, at the top of the draft where he's going to go, you start to look and I see a lot more landmines than I see. Oh yeah, I like that situation for fantasy. Like, I suppose Jacksonville would be cool. They're sitting at number 5 right now. But like, Tennessee's going to take a quarterback. Cleveland might take a quarterback. I would assume. We'll see. The Giants for sure are going to be in the quarterback market, but then it's New England, and that makes it makes a ton of sense, but it also makes you can I would bet you if Vrabel is the guy, they're not taking Travis Hunter. They're going to take an offensive lineman to protect Drake May. So then you're down to punt. So then you're down to Jacksonville and the Raiders and the Jets and the Panthers. It's like, I don't know, man.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind the Panthers if you're thinking from an offensive perspective. You plug him in there, receiver. You got Horn on defense. He doesn't have to be the elite guy.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he would fit best in the NFL at corner. But again, the talent on offense is obvious. It's apparent. It's the reason you think he's better on offense. And that's the thing, is what Matty brought up with Justin Jefferson. It's like the Justin Jefferson element on offense is his full-blown offensive potential is that, period. But then you're not getting him on defense.
That's right. That's right.
He would be. Is he?
And I don't think he wants.
I have no idea. I don't play in any IDP leagues, but would he be like a cheat code in an IDP league?
He'll break scoring systems in IDP if he's used right.
That's right.
Okay. I'll have to ask the guys at the IDP show what they think of Travis Hunter. I'm sure they've got opinions.
He will be in IDP leagues. He will be like he would be your show. You'd be like, if you was Shohei Ohtani, like the theory of Shohei Ohtani in the NFL. Like, I don't think he really can be the Shohei Ohtani of the NFL, but he would be the Shohei Ohtani of IDP leagues. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
He'd break the whole thing.
And in fantasy baseball leagues, points leagues, Shohei Ohtani breaks the scoring system.
Yeah.
How many years before Travis Hunter becomes, I would imagine, the first player? Would he be the first player in NFL history to have a pick six and a receiving touchdown in the same game?
I feel like
the last time would probably be something like Black and White, like they only had 12 guys on a roster type shit.
Yeah, like it's somebody in the 1930s or something.
Jim Thorpe did it back in 1912.
Yeah. For some reason, Dion comes to mind, but I feel like he never actually played offense. I don't really know. I wasn't really alive.
He was the first player to kick a field goal, catch a touchdown pass, and
Are you saying in the same
quarterback?
Brick Foster used to take the screens all the way downtown.
And then he used to change the water jugs at halftime.
The owner of the team saddled up there and scored a touchdown there twice, you see?
Dan Orlovsky schooled Shannon Sharp on one of those earlier today. Shannon Sharp said, when's the last time there's been a Triple Crown winner receiver that didn't make the playoffs? And he lids up, he goes, your brother.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Wow.
He
had that ready to rock. He knew it too. He knew
it.
The feed was out of sync too, and Shannon goes, after he answers, he goes, yeah, I can't either.
All right. You guys, you ready to mock? You ready to mock?
Maybe.
All right. I will bring this up right now. Let me fix our screen because I have a special. There we go. Special layout for this. You can barely see us on the YouTube, but for podcast, it doesn't matter because you're listening to the podcast. This is a one quarterback, no tight end premium for this, just one quarterback PPR rookie mock draft. And Matty, you won the coin toss between you and Cody because we're going to give our guests the first pick. So Matty, you are on the clock
This is gonna be
at
difficult.
the 101.
It's interesting. What did Matty pick, tails or heads?
We assigned in my head in this imaginary coin flip that for sure happened for our listening audience. So Matty, it's just them's the breaks, Cody. You get one. Don't worry, Travis Hunter will probably be there at 102 if you want him.
I mean, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's Ashton Ginty at the 101, 1 QB. This like last year. I mean, he Heisman Trophy candidate, and it was deservingly so. 34 fantasy points a game in college. Mega producer, elusive, and he's got the size. When you kind of watch him play, he's short, but he's pretty compact, pretty dense. I think he's going to have a nice little kind of measurables at the combine that surprises folks. What do you think, Cody? Like you're always on point with this. I'm thinking like 211. I could see him running right over 210.
I hope that's about where. I hope he doesn't come in, and I know he's going to be on the shorter side. I hope he doesn't come in short and light and be like a 205. So I'm hoping he's north of that 210 marker.
He should be a little bit north of 210. And it depends. Like with his production, maybe he decides he doesn't want to slim down and run the 40. He was just going to tell teams like, I'm fast, and then weigh in at that 212, 213. And I think a lot of teams will be excited about the ball cap. But I mean, we're talking about if there is going to be only one first round pick. Cody's mock had him going to the Cowboys, which makes a whole lot of sense. And if he does go there, it's going to be, that's the landing spot. That's the team, the draft capital, the player. Easy 101.
Cody, I completely agree. Cody's up at the 102.
I think this is a slam dunk 101 in every format right now. At 102, I think there's a discussion to be had, but I do think that there's a clear wide receiver one in this class. I wish I could make a statement for Luther Burden right now, but to be quite frank, I'm not happy with either Burden or Tet's 2024 season. I know Tet had a couple big games, but his overall output, overall resume wasn't my favorite. I could make a case for Burden here, but I'm just going to go ahead for chalk purposes and just go Tet. I got him going a top 10 pick, first receiver off the board in my latest NFL mock draft. In that write-up that Matty mentioned, playing with Bowers and Jacoby Myers, I kind of projected with them not taking a quarterback there, of them being in the Rodgers, the Darnold, or maybe like the second round Quinn Ewers conversation.
Cool. It's hard to argue with that. Mr. Babbage at the 103.
I'm going to take my RB2 here. Omarion Hampton. Didn't love his landing spot in Cody's mock draft. I just went and peeped that.
I did.
Although Texan, there could be worse landing spots than being directly behind, Joe Mixon. We just watched Damian Pierce run for 176 yards. Like it was back in his high school days or something like that. So certainly being inserted into a high-powered offense and having the potential within a year or so, maybe not the immediate benefit, but if he's got the keys there, then lights out. 2 straight 1,500-yard seasons. He had 38, I think, nearly 40 receptions this year. You see it in both phases of the game. He's got the size speed combo. He really has all the stereotypical, whatever you want to call it, profile surrounding him that you really like to see in running back. And it's between Hampton and Caleb Johnson is really close right now. I feel like at the end of the day, it's simply going to come down to capital and landing spot. Maybe, some official testing may, tweak it a little bit, but probably just landing spot there. But in a vacuum right now, I lean towards Hampton. If he hits that 4.4 at his, 220 6-foot frame, that's going to be probably 85th, 90th, maybe even plus speed score percentile. So incredible prospect, plays both phases of the game, rising up draft boards. Hopefully see him get drafted in the second round.
And you guys, I mean, I know people already think I'm nuts, man. That's not changing. Probably because I am. All right. At the 104, man, F it. I'm taking the best talented player, maybe in this entire class. And I'm going to bet that an NFL team views him as a more valuable commodity as a wide receiver. And that's what I've seen on tape, man. There's a play, I can't remember who against, but it was a predetermined throw. The quarterback had no business throwing this ball, and he laid out, beat the corner, who was probably like 7 or 8 yards ahead of him downfield. Didn't matter. Travis Hunter beat him with the corner had an 8-yard head start, dives, and you just think, oh my God, that's Justin Jefferson. And it's incredible. So I will take the most talented player, my wide receiver 1 on my board, in Travis Hunter.
I had to avoid, I just had to avoid it this episode. And
yeah,
I am not publicly walking anything back with Shedeur Sanders yet, but just know that I have come to the realization that he may not be as good as I thought he was as I started. I'll tell you, I'm not taking Shedeur Sanders, obviously, but I started watching film, like actual film of Shedeur Sanders over the last couple of weeks, over the holidays. And I almost instantly couldn't believe anything I said about him came out of my mouth. I almost just couldn't believe. Because I'll tell you what, when he makes the big throws, when he makes the big plays, he looks really good. But then you watch the other 98% of the game, and his footwork is bad, his pocket awareness is bad, but it makes it, all the more of a positive on Travis Hunter that he was able to do what he did. So I had to avoid that just in case. I've already had enough bad takes this offseason, but I love this receiver out of Ohio State.
Wait a minute.
Emeka Egbuka.
Wait a minute. What's going on? What are?
This isn't a snake draft.
I thought we were gonna. I thought we were gonna. You got a double pick anyway.
We're never told the rules before we.
Well, if it was a snake draft, it would be my pick anyway. I would have back-to-back picks. Yeah. So I just assumed we.
Matty, is it you or me?
It's Matty. Matty's back up.
I mean,
so I figured we give our guests.
Making sure. I know if we would snake it.
Yeah,
I'd be judging you guys.
Our guests
either way.
The premium picks here. We give our guests the premium picks.
I just had to jump out and make sure that I said it before either of them that I like Emeka Egbuka more. So that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Emeka Egbuka too. I've been a big fan of Emeka Egbuka, but here at the 105, I'm going to take Caleb Johnson. I'm going to stick to the running back. When you see Caleb Johnson drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers in Cody's mock, it's hard to not unsee that. That is the nuts landing spot. Size, explosiveness. We've seen a progression in the passing game, 1,500 rushing yards. And believe it or not, a guy of this size and coming from this school, 240 rush attempts last year. It's a lot. It shows that he's a workhorse, but I mean, we saw Hampton get 281. Scatterboot almost 300 carries. So I think there's a little bit more tread on that tire, especially because he's a late bloomer. So I'm going to go with the day 2 pick, Caleb Johnson here.
I'm going to run up to the board. I'm going to sprint up to the board, and I'm going to take a receiver that I love and have loved for more than a year. That's Luther Burden. He fits the archetype right around that 6 foot tall, 205-pound frame. I think he's going to test very well. And when you go look back to last year, 2023, he was right around Trey Harris in this class, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Roma Dunze, and all the advanced metrics. So here's to hoping that a landing spot like New Orleans, where they need all the talent they can get in that wide receiver room, he gets it right here with Luther Burden.
Well, Matt, your guy's available, and it is your pick. So is this where you're going?
I mean, I can see into the future. I just wanted to get those next 2 picks over with. They were basically written in stone. But Emeka Egbuka, I've been a fan of his, dating back to the episodes of Dynasty Roundtable, going into last draft season when we thought Egbuka may be in that mix of receivers going into the draft. He ends up holding off a year. I personally think that ended up being a big positive for him because probably wouldn't have been a first-round pick last year with the draft capital. Now looking like that he might be a late-round, first-round pick. Cody's mock had him at Washington. That would be sick. I mean, you saw this offense, and I feel like fundamentally Olamide Zaccheaus was a fantasy league winner in fantasy football. Jamison Crowder was putting up usable weeks. The dusty husk of Zach Ertz is scoring touchdowns. Everything was happening on this offense, and they did not have a single notable wide receiver too. I think Dotson could have potentially ended up as a top 36 receiver in fantasy points per game, just lucked into it if he managed to stay on the roster. Curtis Samuel, something like that. Anybody could have had an incredible year. You get a really polished receiver to play opposite of Terry McLaurin, who's going to obviously draw some of the island coverage. With his deep threat ability, he's going to take some attention back as well. And that's going to be a perfect fit for Egbuka, someone who has great spatial awareness, good route runner, knows how to work zone, work the middle of the field. So whether it's in Washington or somewhere else, I think Egbuka is he brings a level of polishedness. That's not a word, to the team. And he's going to be a day one fantasy contributor should he land in a good spot.
Polishedness is not a word, but polishedness is a word. So you're almost,
of course,
almost
English
right.
language.
You're almost right. Don't question me. All right. I'm gonna go good pick, by the way. Yeah, everybody's doing well. Hooray for us. I'm gonna go Quinshon Judkins here. Quinshon Judkins. I just shameless plug. Just his all 22 breakdown is going to be published on Wednesday on my channel, the Seth Dewald Fantasy channel, and he's incredible. I think the dog rating would be pretty high on Quinshon Judkins. Am I right, Cody, or am I wrong on that?
Very high.
Okay, because I
Does
saw
he get maniacal though? I feel like he's one of those that might get maniacal.
I hope not, because when you get to maniacal, you can't catch footballs in the cold.
And you fight fans.
And you fight fans.
So there was a play that I watched. It was like a quarterback power play against Penn State to seal the game, basically, and he threw the block that really sprung Will Howard for the first down. So it's just like plays like that I keep seeing come up, and I know like I have this inner monologue with myself because I'm not talking to anybody in my episodes, but I know what the chat is going to say, or at least I think I do. Like, we don't care about blocks. We don't care about, this stuff. How many fantasy points is he going to score, Seth? Well, coaches are going to see that, and it's going to get him on the field a lot quicker than, otherwise would be. So I think he's not only a really good player, just, a guy that, like I said in the video, like you have him mocked to Baltimore. And I know some people would think that's nuts because, they have Derrick Henry and he just had a career year. But Derrick Henry we all know how old he is. And getting an air replacement for Derrick Henry would be perfect, I think. And I would, if I get a discount on Quinshon Judkins because he gets drafted by the Ravens, who love to run the football more than anybody with Lamar Jackson, if I have to wait a year, whatever, I'm fine with it. Great. I'll take the discount on Quinshon Judkins if there is one, if he gets drafted by the Ravens in the second round. I think that's a tremendous landing spot. So I'll throw it to Matty at the 109.
This next pick, I already kind of see the writing on the wall that this is going to be one of those laughable kind of picks in reflection over the course of time. But when you don't know, you don't know. So you just go with what you know. So I'm going to take Cam Scatterbo here because everyone hates Scatterbo because he's going to be slow, and he probably will be. And that's why this pick will go away. He will fade. The draft capital probably won't be there to warrant a 109 pick. But I'm sorry. I just look at the guys who are in the top 20, 22 running backs in Dynasty. Kyron Williams isn't fast. Josh Jacobs isn't fast. Then I keep going, and the David Montgomery's not all that fast coming out. Chuba Hubbard wasn't all that fast. Brian Robinson wasn't all that fast coming out. Najee Harris, James Conner wasn't all that fast, but they were good running backs, and you could see it in college. And for better or worse, Cam Scatterbo was a monster in college, averaged almost as many fantasy points per game as Ashton Ginty, 52 targets, 44 receptions, over 2,200 total yards from scrimmage. Dog. And if he gets a chance, it might take a couple injuries. This is the type of guy that eventually makes for a very productive fantasy running back. And like I said, it'll fade over the course of time when the draft capital fades or the testing isn't there. But we don't know what we don't know. So I'm just going to go with what I do know, that Cam Scatterbo is a player.
Sounds like you're going to get a lot of discounted Cam Scatterbo when that probably happens.
Oh,
when the 40 isn't as good as. Yeah, because
I'm going to take him all day.
Yeah,
it's just I've seen this game before. It's like, wait, why weren't we taking the really? I made the same fucking mistake with Bucky Irving last year.
Yeah,
he's slow. He's not the. I got too cute with my analysis. No, he's a good running back, and in running back, it's the easiest translatable position from college to the pros. We see it all the time.
Love it, Mr. Carpentier.
I think that's fair. I mean, there does have to be a Samaje Perine in every class. So there's that.
Samaje Perine's still in the NFL, Cody.
What's he done for you?
I'm just saying, like, he's a ball player. He's a ball player. Samaje Perine's still in the NFL.
He's a ball player, but I'm just saying, I agree with you, but I'm just saying I might not use my first round pick on him. That's all I'm personally saying. I think
I probably won't when push comes to shove. But right here, what if he does run faster than expected? What if he does get the day 2 draft capital?
What do you think he's going to run? Because this is a very interesting thing. That I was talking to the Roster Watch guys about this during the game the other night, and we were trying to figure it out, put a number on it. What number would you guys put on this?
I think like 4.62.
It's literally what is shown in NFL Draft Buzz. It's on my on the left. That's their estimated as well.
I was going off David Montgomery's 4.63. I think it'll be.
I mean,
range. Yeah.
But the 40 time is very flawed. It's very nice to see a back with the requisite size, speed that we like to put, the league winning or the workhorse running back into. But these guys aren't sprinters. These guys get in a sprinter stance and ask a runner or ask one of these guys who run the 40. You even just stray off your straight line a little bit, and you can cut a 4.62, and that can be a 4.67. So I like Matty said, like if he can hit, Josh Jacobs not fast, but he can hit 20 miles an hour. I'm sure Cam Scatterbo can hit 20 miles an hour. Back in my high school days, I hit 21 on a treadmill. So I'm slow as shit. These guys have enough breakaway speed. If they're a good running back, they're going to get opportunities, but maybe a little early.
I also want to make sure that I could talk about him. I didn't know if
that's fair.
My other pick here was Henderson, and I thought if I took Henderson, maybe he goes. But this is the game you play. This is why it's a mock, baby.
I love it. And I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to be right into that, but
no.
I talk about the white boy. All right, so 110 here. I got a number of people I'm looking at. Tell you what, it is nice sitting in this 110 spot with an array of running backs glaring at you after I have Tet and Burden on my roster.
You always do this. You act like you own every pick that you draft from. That's how I never draft it that way. I never look at it that way.
We did heads or tails. You got the 101. You're building running back base roster. You have no PPR.
This is Cody Carpentier 101 acting like every pick in the mock is his fantasy team. Drafts would look totally different if you do it that way. But this is Cody 101 to be like,
you don't have any PPR.
You didn't draft a quarterback in Superflex. It's like, wait. We were supposed to do this stuff? No, he's the one that sets the rules post, and you get me every time. We've
gotten critiques about because we've kind of done that before. We've fallen into that trap, and then the chat's always like, "Hey, you should draft these picks as if each team is an individual team, not like you're trying to build a team." Yeah, so I don't care how to me, it's
joke.
like you just
more
do.
a joke than anything. It looks
Yeah.
appeasing, and you're like, it's good to. I can just talk to Matty because Matty doesn't have any PPR points yet because he's got a bunch of stone-headed runners. And I got all the receivers. So that's the direction I'm going to take this thing.
We're gonna make a trade. Scatabo for Burden. Let's do it.
Puke.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, you're just trying to work that scatable value up to a top 6 pick now. I like it.
There you go.
I'll go with the most dynamic receiver in football this year. I don't think he belongs in this spot, but I'm going to take him because I want another receiver. I'm just kidding. That's not why I'm going to do it. I'm going to take him because I do believe he belongs in the top 5 conversation at the wide receiver position. I do think he's going to be on this cusp of first round between like 110 and 2-3 when it does come to the end of this thing. The receiver class really falls off after Tet and Burden and Hunter and Igbuka. Like that's what I think the bulk of the receiving class is, and I don't really even consider Hunter to be fully in that because he's such an anomaly. I do think there's a bit of a tier here, but I do think Trey Harris kind of is in the middle of the tier. So for those reasons, I'm going to take Trey Harris from Ole Miss.
That was going to be my next pick. Hashtag PPR points. I do love Trey Harris. We talk a lot about it. We saw what Nico Collins was able to do, and I'm not saying he's Nico Collins, but you look at the body framework, that pure X receiver, and that's the kind of archetype potential that Trey Harris has. And that is very, very enticing. So I guess I'll go back to the old RB well, because I echo Cody's sentiments about really just not liking this wide receiver class very much after we get beyond Trey Harris. So I will take Travion Henderson from Ohio State. Seth thought I was the lowest person in the history of rankings on Travion Henderson, even though I had him at 10. He jumps up to 9 here. After the last couple of weeks, looked very good against Oregon. So I think that was kind of him saying, hey, Matt, you're hating on me a little too much. You moved me down after the Michigan game. That was reactionary. I still got that burst. So Travion Henderson upside was a little capped here in 2024. You're going up with a dog with Quinshon Judkins. You look across their game logs. It was essentially trading blows on kind of who had the big game. Obviously the two of them had some duds with neither one of them getting enough work to get going. But like what Travion Henderson was able to do, like his potential draft capital as well.
Good pick. It to me, it falls off a little bit after Travion Henderson, but there's still a running back I like. So I'm gonna make this pick here, and I'm gonna go Nick Singleton. I love his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, and I don't care that he's technically not the best running back. If anything, that makes best running back in his own backfield. I should have finished that thought because Katron Allen's really good too. But over 1,000 rushing yards this year and a career high 39 receptions for 342 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. I think that's going to come in real handy in a PPR league. Obviously, landing spot's going to matter, but I like Nicholas Singleton a lot, especially in this format. So that is round 1. Any thoughts before we move on to round 2 here?
I hope Matty doesn't snipe me right here. That's all.
Okay. This round 2 separates the men from the boys.
This is the last pick. This is the last pick. Not in the draft, not in this mock draft, but this is the last pick that I want.
Okay.
If I don't have if I'm sitting, and I guess it's maybe an overarching thought that I just have, that if I don't have a first round pick and I'm a team that traded away that pick and I maybe am sitting at like 208 and I'm like, man, I really want to get into this first round, try and get one of these things. I know Matty's talking about before. He's like, don't try and you maybe don't want to try and get up into this thing to try to shoot your dart or throw your dart or whatever. I think I would try to throw it to the 201. That's the one place I would try to get to, the 201. Okay. I think I would make that a point to get there because I do think once you flush through those 12 guys, to me, there's really one more guy I want before I think I'm just like, okay, well, let's just make the picks the rest of the way as far as like where I'm sitting right now on January 6th. That could grow a couple more spots, but I think everybody past this guy is a little bit underwhelming.
So I don't think I'm gonna end up making the pick that I think your guy's gonna be there for you at the 202 because what I'm doing at the 201 is I'm learning a lesson from 2024, and I'm gonna take Ollie Gordon because last year I avoided Braylon Allen, didn't want Braylon Allen, didn't have a 2023 campaign like I thought he would. He must have fallen off, and then I know he didn't really pop, but that's what's gonna happen when you're behind Brees. But we saw him have a few spikes in value because he is talented. Ollie Gordon had a fantastic 23, very lackluster 2024, but the talent's there, the size is there, the pass catching ability is there. So for me, I just can't let him fall any longer. I'm taking him at 201.
Cody,
I think it's fine. I like Ollie as a back. I think his team sucked, and it wasn't all his fault. I would have also loved if he would have came out last year for a running back mileage standpoint. But I think that this pick for me is Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. When you do go back to 2017, the 201 in that class was Alvin Kamara from Tennessee. And that's not why I'm making this reference here of him being the 201, 202. It's literally it just happens to be how it aligns in the depth of this class for me right now. I think Dylan Sampson is an electric talent that can go into a team on day one, be that starter. I don't even remember where I mocked him. I don't even know if I had him in the first 2 rounds. Did I have him here?
No, I don't believe you did.
I didn't have him in the first 2 rounds. But I do believe he'll probably be there. One of the first running backs on the board in round 3, which we know is fine. Kareem Hunt was a 3rd round pick that year as well. So either one of those things works. I think Dylan Sampson played in an offense that wants to throw the football a lot, just happened to run the football a lot because they had a guy named Dylan Sampson in the backfield who's super explosive. And obviously they had Jalen Wright last year. He had 600 yards playing with Jalen Wright, 100 carries. And he did hit the threshold of 20 receptions that we often look for.
That is Dylan Sampson is one of 4 guys I've highlighted so far, and I won't say the other 3, but I'm right in lockstep with you with Dylan Sampson. I can already tell he's going to be a guy that I'm probably going to have more of than consensus for sure.
All right, based on where I think draft capital is going to play, I've been trying. There's a player I love. Seth Newt probably knows who I'm thinking about. There's a player I love, but I feel like I'm just going to be ahead of the curve, and he's going to end up getting like 4th round draft capital, and I'm going to have to force him down my rankings. So to avoid that, I'm going to try and push this player down another round. And if he gets sniped by Matty or Cody, that just means I'm probably making a good decision on my prospect rankings. So I'm going to take a shot on a guy who might get, the day 2 draft capital, 2nd round draft capital, could stay in the state of Texas. I don't necessarily love Isaiah Bond as a prospect. I'm not super intrigued by him, but what we kind of saw with Xavier Worthy and how that started to work out once the deep ball started to lessen and they started making him more of a gadget-esque, Rasheed-esque type of role. If they can if a team can put Isaiah Bond in a similar situation, we all see the PPR scam, the 3-yard screens, that's 1.3 fantasy points. If he's going to get 2nd, 3rd round draft capital to a team where he's going to be a starting, slot receiver, starting in, 3 receiver sets for a team, sign me up at the 203. I feel like there's worse ways you can spend this pick if you're going to stay home and draft. I think the upside's really there for him to be kind of one of those scam guys. I think it's a copycat league, so maybe we see that type of Rashee Rice role that we've seen become so lethal in Kansas City start to become developed in other locations as well. Maybe the Cowboys, like in Cody's mock, go out and take Isaiah Bond, which I don't necessarily, I'm not in love with him as a prospect. That fit I actually would really love, and I would be borderline excited to take Bond at the 203 if you were to go to the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to take a shot here on a hyper athletic receiver.
He also has the coolest touchdown dance, I think, in college football. I mean, the guns on the. Have you seen this?
Yeah. This type of.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That doesn't give the NFL would flag that. He's gonna have to get a different dance. NFL is
gonna do guns, no guns,
15
no guns.
penalty, no guns.
His whole brand is 007. He's got like the chain, everything.
I mean, it's just incredible. The NFL goes so far as to, they ban gun violence from their celebrations, and yet gun violence still exists in America. It's shocking, really.
What was the one on Christmas where they were like stealing presents that got fined? Who was that?
Who was
I can't remember who it was. Was it somebody from the Lions? Was it like Jameson Williams or something?
I think
maybe somebody.
Something.
But what are your thoughts? You covered Texas. What are your thoughts on Isaiah Bond, Cody?
He's really good. He's just been hurt all year, and he was the alpha receiver in the room until he dealt with the ankle injury, re-aggravated the ankle injury. He makes the entire offense operate at a different level, and he can play both inside and outside. They use him. They move him around. He's you brought up Worthy. Obviously, I know you didn't comp him to Worthy, but like. He brings that dynamic ability to the offense to where he can catch the football behind the line of scrimmage and just go. And he has that breakaway speed. So he's super young too. I think he's 20. I think he turns 21 this summer. So that obviously helps in the dynasty realm. I was hoping kind of that Texas would offer him, $1.5 million, $2 million to come back and play one more year, but don't think that's going to end up happening because he knows the depth of this receiver class blows and he's probably going to be a top 40 pick.
Gotcha. If he's a top 40 pick, then yeah, there's a chance he climbs a little bit higher, and that's a really good pick by Matt. I'm gonna see what you think of this comp here. I feel like Xavier Restrepo is this year's Ricky Pearsall. What do you guys think? I
how dare you hope he gets shot in the chest?
Well, I don't know.
Well, it's been happening to everybody. Brian Robinson in the ass.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall in the chest. So
how dare you, Seth?
Someone's getting shot in the stomach.
Yeah. I hope I didn't put that evil out there.
Well, ass,
a toe or something.
Stomach.
Yeah.
God
damn. Wow.
I actually would argue I would rather my NFL prospect get shot in the stomach than the foot. You lose a toe. I mean, that's
well, the big toe
somewhere losing.
Hopefully it's like the ring toe or something.
You need balance.
Yeah, I can't imagine if you lose a toe.
Running back falling over.
If you lose a toe, like that would be a hell of a way to end your career. It's like you got shot in the foot and you have no more toe. Like you'd have to get like a prosthetic or something. I don't know.
I also don't think you should be wishing this on Restrepo. He's like 40 years old already. Like he can't bounce back.
That's what I'm
from
saying.
Gunshot wound.
That's what I'm saying. He's a fifth year senior. He's he plays that slot receiver. I wanted to get a little slotty. So I like Xavier Restrepo here at PPR league. I mean, right situation. You never know. I like him.
I respect it.
I think he could be one of those like guys that leaves Mobile. Is he going to Mobile? I think he's going to Mobile, right? Didn't he get invited down there?
Xavier Restrepo, yes.
Might be too old.
Yeah, like I could see him leaving Mobile with a lot of helium because he's that type of route runner that can just tear people up in those type of like one-on-one drills.
Yeah, it shows up on tape too. I like his tape's really good, I think.
I'm just going to continue to spit in the face of the PPR settings. I'm going to go with Devin Neal.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Devin Neal definitely, I would
pick.
imagine, really wishes he could go back in time and be part of the 24 running back class as opposed to the 25, given the depth. But this is a guy, 127 rushing yards per game, was pretty elusive, had pretty good yards after contact metrics, still has some pretty decent tread on the tires, only 218 rush attempts. This year, he's able to, record, was it the 26 receptions on 31 targets? It's going to probably not come with a whole lot of draft capital, but I like the prospect, like the running back. I'm going to stick to the backs.
All right,
I love that pick.
Here's my favorite pick of the draft, the 206. Got this guy in the second round in my mock draft. I put him up here for a reason because I wanted to talk about him. So I'm excited I get to draft this guy. I'm excited that nobody else is on this guy, at least to this spot. He's a receiver, so I'm going to go back to the receiver well. 6 foot tall, 205 pounds. He's 21 years old. He broke out as a 19-year-old redshirt freshman. Utah State. Jalen Royals. He's going to be down there at the Senior Bowl as well. This kid goes and gets it. He is a bona fide stud. You turn on that Boise State tape, and that's all the tape you need to watch with Jalen Royals. He finished his career with consecutive 150-yard games against Boise State, who won the Mountain West, UNLV, who lost the Mountain West, and New Mexico, who sucks. This kid is built like the archetype that I love and that we all have come to love in fantasy football. Chase, DJ Moore, OBJ, Amari Cooper, Neighbors, JSN, Diggs. You want me to keep going? I can. Jefferson, Sammy Watkins. Like, I can keep on. All these guys are in this 5'11 to 6'1", 195 to 205. That's where he fits. This guy's going to run a 4.44, 4.46. I will say, I got okey-doked into this in 2018 with Anthony Miller. 10-inch hands, looked like OBJ. Not quite obviously OBJ, but he looked like that-esque. Royals looks like the same thing. He looks like the Anthony Millers from Memphis, who I think maybe had a couple more off-the-field problems than Jalen Royals will. Jaden Reed, I think that's what the Senior Bowl sees in Jalen Royals is Jaden Reed. Deebo Samuel was down there a couple of years ago. They've had these guys that are built to the same exact archetype. Velus Jones. It just goes on and on for this exact build of a player. Kadarius Toney, Malachi Corley, Sky Moore. There's missing.
We're starting to name a lot of really bad players now.
There's-
What's happening?
Yeah.
You're at 206.
We're venturing down a dark alley.
No, you're
there,
taking
Cody.
shots at the 206. I do agree with that for sure.
We're talking about Velus Jones, the running back.
You brought up
there's-
Velus Jones and Anthony Miller. How dare you? This is not. I don't like.
Listen, there's misses to be had, but with every miss is a great. And those were just guys that were respectively at the Senior Bowl. Malachi, Tony, Velus, but they also had Deebo, Jaden Reed, and he fits the archetype. This is the game you play. This kid went to Utah State. He went to Georgia Military Junior College his first year out of school because nobody wanted him. He had 0 offers, 0-star kid. Built his way up, put 20 pounds on. Man-made, built-made. This is what I want right here in my 206. Jalen Royals goes to the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill left town and left a gaping hole for 140 targets, and Jalen Royals is going to fill it in.
I'm out.
Wow.
That's what he said. I'm out.
Wow.
Tyreek Hill, I'm out. I can't do this. For my family's sake, I need to get the fuck out of here.
And, okay, Tyreek Hill thing. Small side. How were the odds for him to go somewhere? How was the Kansas City Chiefs not the top odds?
They're 13-1. I feel like if they're gonna get him back,
How
it's
how
the most
is that?
obvious thing ever.
Like,
Yeah. Why would?
I was like, not Kansas City, not Kansas City, not Kansas City. I'm like, are they?
The Patriots are like 8-1. It's like he ain't going to New England. He just shot his way out of Miami. He's gonna want to go to New England, to Foxborough, Massachusetts. Are you kidding me?
I don't get it. I need to go for a drive and make some bets.
I don't. Man, I didn't even know you could bet on that. That seems like
You can bet on
easy
anything
money.
nowadays.
That sounds like. I mean, how like he's not going to go play for a non-contender, so you can throw that out the window. I mean, why would that be so low? The only explanation would be there's something we don't know that was ugly when he left Kansas City. But
it's just
feels
cockamamie odds. That's all it is. It's just
All right.
cockamamie odds behind it. They have Dallas at like 3-1 or whatever it was. Like
Falcons are on the list. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
This draft class is
Falcons.
This draft class is so bad that the most entertaining thing to talk about at the 207 is Tyreek Hill. That's where
Hey, Jalen Royals is pretty good.
you've been on him. You've been on him for weeks. I mean, it was back in November that Seth was saying, "Hey, start looking into this Jalen Royals kid." So
why do you only play 7 games? Can you guys answer me that? Why do you
foot
only
injury?
play 7?
Foot injury.
foot injury.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he couldn't handle the 20 pounds you put on?
I'm telling you, he went for like 150, 180, and 170 in 3 consecutive games to finish his
Look at
career.
his stat. Look at his stats. Like Matt Babbage and I looked it up. His game log was crazy.
He averaged 120 yards per game in the 7 games he played.
He had 211 and 2
Pretty
touchdowns.
awesome.
Boise State.
Yep, that's the one, and it's
I could
against
probably
like
look
not
through
bad
that.
schools either.
All right. Well,
So, Matt's up.
207. I'm gonna, following kind of Cody's archetype here. I'm gonna take a guy, 5'11. He's 206, runs a 4.47 40. Oh shit! I'm looking at Jalen Rager's player profiler page. That is
Whoopsie.
is not what I meant to do.
That's awesome.
No, this was the running back I wanted to take in the last round. I love where he fits as a player and as a potential fantasy producer. I just don't know if a senior transfer into SMU is going to get that day 2, even round 3 draft capital that I want. I've gone to bat for a lot of these guys year after year after year, hoping for that draft capital. And, some of them will get it, but, odds are Brashard Smith is probably not, be very, very, very fringe day 2, very likely day 3. That being said, I love PPR fantasy points, and Brashard Smith's going to be a guy who can get them. And not to be too reactionary to what Tyrone Tracy was able to do, but you take a guy who's played receiver most of his life, and then when he transfers, and mind you, transfers to better competition into SMU and what their schedule ended up being this year, ends up looking like a natural runner. Vision is great, has a good sense of where to go, ball security, top end speed. He has a lot of those top end running back qualities. He's not a guy who's super small. He's not going to be slow. So there's nothing that's, weighing him down there. To me, this is just, are you a good running back? And again, I'm not the best talent evaluator out there, but he looks like a pretty good running back to me. Was able to, against some good competition against Penn State, against some of their ranked opponents, against Clemson in the ACC championship game, he was able to churn out some good numbers. Maybe not great, mind you, because SMU just isn't great overall. Brashard Smith wasn't going to be the one to single-handedly maul Penn State and keep them in that game. They lost by, however many points. It was out of hand. But I really think if he gets just an opportunity, that's really all he needs. A Tyrone Tracy to the Giants is all it takes for a guy like Brashard Smith to be relevant next year. Senior Bowl, watch out.
I like it. I'm gonna go. I don't know if this is just picking up what is the value here, but I'm just gonna go Jordan James. He was pretty productive last season, if I can operate a spreadsheet here, with Bucky Irving at Oregon, and this season he's been really, really good for a really good Oregon team. I like it the way he cuts back. Like in when he's running, I think he's got some of the best cutbacks in this class, like as far as his ability to maneuver and find the running lanes. So he came on a little bit with his pass catching this year. 26 receptions is a career high. So I like that in a PPR league, and then 15 touchdowns this year was also a career high. He had 11 touchdowns last year, even with some serious competition in the backfield. So, yeah, I'll go Jordan James, and this will be it. This is our last round of picks. Matty, you're up at the 209.
I so badly want to take my boy Harold Fannin Jr. on principle alone, but I'm not going to since it's my last pick. And who I am going to take, I'm going to take Ty Johnson from Oregon. Here in the end, I like going for the slot guys, kind of towards the end, kind of what you're thinking with Restrepo. I kind of see a lot of that potential in a guy like Tez Johnson, who was productive this year for Oregon, 100 targets, caught 82 of them, had 10 touchdowns. I am taking him over his teammate Evan Stewart, because Evan Stewart might have the hype, he might have the prospect kind of reputation coming out of college and whatnot, but what I will never chase in terms of prospect evaluation is under deliverers. That's why I didn't have any shares of Treylon Burks. I hate the guys that are supposed to do stuff, don't do stuff, and then have people telling you all these excuses why they didn't do the stuff. Evan Stewart was supposed to be a 5-star bona fide at A&M, kind of fell flat. Went to Oregon, was supposed to be the dude, kind of fell flat for a few different reasons. Tez Johnson seems like a very boring prospect when you watch him. It just seems like it's pretty vanilla. But at the end of the day, of anyone at this range, I think who could see 80 to 100 targets at some point in his career, I think it's Tez Johnson.
Very solid. Very solid receiver. I like Tez quite a bit. Could go two directions here. I kind of want to go with just a super dart in Savion Williams from TCU. He's a sicko. I turned his stuff on today, and we're going through, and Alex did his write up on Roster Watch, and I'm like, all right, I better throw it on and go through my gradings. And I was like, man, this guy just throws a wrench in this whole class, because he's supposed to be a receiver, and like he looked good as a receiver last year, and then he's out here taking like 10 carries a game for TCU, and it doesn't make any sense. He's running Texas routes to a T, spin moves at 228 pounds. Like, he's a Super Saiyan athlete. So I kind of want to take him here, but he also hasn't had that 1,000-yard season. So like Matty kind of mentions, and you know why I'm not taking him here? Simply because Matty brought up one name, and that was Treylon Burks. And I texted Alex back about Savion Williams earlier, and this is exactly what I texted him. We're talking about finding a comp for him, and I said he's better than Cordero and better than Burks, more elusive than Terrell Pryor and Metcalf, vision of a running back with contested skills of like a Demaryius Thomas. I don't know what to do with him. And the Burks thing was one of the first ones that I thought of because of rushing. Burks ran the ball more than 10 times in college. I really like Savion, and I really kind of want to take him right here, but I'm not. I'm going to take the proven commodity, which Matty just brought up was a good fact. Back-to-back 1,500-yard seasons. Since the game against Oregon last year, where he had 7 carries for 71 yards and kind of really popped onto the scene at Texas Tech, 22 consecutive games with more than 95 yards rushing. The 3 games that he did not have 100, he had in the 90s. Those came against Texas. That came against, Texas, Cal, and Kansas State. He had 95, 95, and 98. Every other game last year and this year. This year, every single game, he had 100 yards on the ground. Taj Brooks, the running back from Texas Tech. He's a 5th-year guy. He's got 1,000 career touches, which is 1 billion as far as the running back position is concerned. But somebody in this class has to be the James Conner. Somebody has to be the Marlon Mack. He could be one or the other. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that dart.
This class is freaking loaded. Taj Brooks, you could paint me a million different stories where this guy is a fab destroyer, an undrafted out of nowhere. Who's this guy running for 600 yards as rookie? Taj Brooks is built like a brick shithouse in the best way possible.
Speaking of built like a brick shithouse, I'll take Tyler Warren and take the best tight end on the board. I was actually thinking that at this point, I was planning after Bashard Smith to take Colston Loveland because I was feeling that in one of the next 3 picks, Warren was going to go. And then, it's the back of the second round. So it's probably the right place. But man, just pray that he doesn't land in like a Ben Sinnott, bad landing spot for year 1. But man, Warren just looks the part when you watch him at Penn State. And he's 6'6", 257, projected near, somewhere a little under a 4.7. Interestingly enough, the Penn State product comps pretty closely to Pat Freiermuth in terms of size there, but probably not the most spectacular blocker from what people have said. I'm not going to ever pretend to be someone who's going to understand the intricacies of tight end blocking, but for sure we have a guy that can play all over, not necessarily all over the field, but have a route tree that's expanded. They can have, the Kittle, maybe a short area and run with it. You can work the zone in the middle of the field. He can even potentially be, a deep threat, a red zone guy, a la like a Freiermuth, but has a lot of the tools, probably going to be a 1st-round pick based on current mock drafts that are circulating, including Cody's. And let's see, let's pop back over here. You have him in Denver, which would be incredible, probably a picture perfect spot.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, the way Sean Payton's used tight ends in the past would get me really excited for as far as the landing spot goes. I don't know how you guys feel about this pick, and I don't know this. There's many ways I could go. I'm just gonna pick Kyron Lacy because I feel like he's probably the most the best player on the board at wide receiver right now. Although I'm not terribly confident, I don't really have much production to go off of. But he did play at LSU, and there's been a lot of good, wide receivers at LSU lately. So, I like the tape. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it was kind of between him and IU Manor at this pick. Maybe Evan Stewart would have garnered some consideration there too. But I know a lot of other people are higher on Lacy than I am. I think I like him. I don't think I love him. But what do you guys make of Kyron Lacy, or do you have an opinion at this stage?
I always thought when I watched Lacy, I always come away thinking there's something missing here.
Okay.
Like he's just never fires. And I mean, what always confused me about Lacy is in the same sentence you'd hear Garrett Nussmeier should be the number one quarterback in this class. I know he's going back to LSU, but this is when this was happening. But then why isn't Lacy being able to produce more with the skill set that he has, with the quarterback that was there? It just felt like there was always something missing. But at 212, it feels kind of the spot here. It feels the spot. This is where you can take shots on guys that might be missing something.
I like him, but when I finished my grade, I didn't like him. I got a late 5th, early 6th round grade on him, and I don't know. I think, like Matty said, I think that's the best way to say it. Like, there's just a lot that's left to be desired when you watch Kyron Lacy, and maybe it's because you're wish casting what has always been there with that jersey and helmet, and that can sometimes get into your vision. And it's one guy that I will say, being one of the first guys I did watch was like him and Tez and like Pat Bryant from Illinois. Once I get done with receivers, I'm going to go back to those guys and just make sure, because sometimes when you get into a position, the first couple can be a little bumpy. So I'm not a big fan of him at all, though. Unfortunately.
Gotcha.
But I want. That's the problem. I loved him 2 years ago.
It's one of those guys that I think a lot of other, like, I'm seeing him in a lot, going fairly high in a lot of these other mock drafts that I'm watching when I get a chance to. And I feel like at the 212, it's a decent chance to take, but
yeah,
what I really wanted to, what I probably should have done, and what my gut told me to do there, was IU Manor, who I saw had one of the better games against Travis Hunter, I think, in 2023. So anyway, but I'm fine with Kyron Lacy there, and I have more work to do on him. I'm just kind of, you get prospects you're unsure of. He's one that I feel, because I kind of feel the same way when I watch him. I think there's talent there. I just always come away, like Matty said, just I don't really know what to do with this guy. Like, I don't know. Anyway, like it's one of those guys I'm not very confident in my evaluation whatsoever. So I'm kind of looking to see what other people are saying about him. And anyway, so I'm kind of ambivalent on him right now. But that wraps it up, guys. We did it. 2 rounds, 1 quarterback. Let us know who had the best team in the chat. It's probably going to be me, but oh well. Even though I had the last pick. Maddie had Genty, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scatabo, Ollie Gordon. Man, all running backs. Devin Neal, Tez Johnson. Because we're putting together a team is what we're doing.
Strength of the class. Don't take the guy who couldn't handle 20 extra pounds, who plays for Georgetown State of the Blind, who played 7 games. Go with the strength of the class.
Cody had Tet McMillan, Luther Burden, Trey Harris, Dylan Sampson, Jalen Royals, Taj Brooks, Matt Babbage, Omarion Hampton, Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson, Isaiah Bond, Brashard Smith, Tyler Warren, and Seth Dewald, the winner of this mock draft, Travis Hunter, Quinshawn Judkins, Nicholas Singleton,
cornerback?
Xavier Restrepo, Jordan James, Kyron Lacey. It's an IDP league. I'm pulling the rug out from under. So there you go. He should have been the 101. Any thoughts here? Any final thoughts on this mock draft? Anything you want to say about somebody maybe we didn't draft? I don't know. Matty, take it in whatever direction you want to go.
It's just the running back class. It's unreal. I know right now it just feels it's so saturated and it's going to get watered down through the process. But I mean, Rocket Sanders wasn't even a thought here. And Rocket Sanders was sick nasty just a year ago. Damian Martinez. I know Jaden Ott's probably going to go back to Cal. But I mean, it's just there's so many good running backs in this class. It's unbelievable. I mean, we didn't even talk about RJ Harvey, who has a chance to really make a big name for himself coming out of Central Florida. If he decides, I'm pretty sure he's declaring. The running back class is so good. And then I look at this and go, oh, shit, we didn't take a quarterback. Not a single quarterback was taken.
Yeah. Cody, final thoughts?
That's the thought right there. No quarterback taken, and there's still players on the board that you could draft and throw in here to round 2 and feel good about. Damian Martinez from Miami, another running back that was lethal at Oregon State last year, good this year, 230-pound back that just turned 21 years old. Actually, he turns 21 at the end of the month. A bunch of backs that you can just continually just pull out. Raheem Sanders, let's keep going. Let's keep bring down another 230-pounder. Film off another 230-pounder. Like the 230-pounders are coming out of oak trees this year in the 4th round of our rookie drafts, as well as tight ends. You want a tight end? I mean, Gunnar Helm. You're going to be able to get Gunnar Helm at the end of the 3rd. Mason Taylor, super talented tight end. Kind of underwhelmed this past year, but I mean, you're going to get a lot of value in tight end in the 3rd round, it looks like. With Loveland, with Helm, with Taylor. I think that this drafts are shaping up well. If you can pick and choose where you go with receiver, the depth of this running back class, as you guys can see, is effervescent. I mean, it's just Matty had how many guys? 5 running backs. I had 2. Matt had 3. Seth had 3. Like, this is dumb.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with. I think running back is far and away, as I effed up this thing here. There we go. Far and away, this is, if you need running backs, this is the class for you. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. We went a little bit long. Plug anything that you got to plug before we get out of here, and then we'll get out of here.
I was going to say, head over to southharmonff.com. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/southharmon.
Mock draft 4.0, 2 rounds up at rosterwatch.com right now. And there it is.
All right. Go follow them on Twitter as well at Carpentier NFL, right? On Twitter. Is that still?
No, I got my full name. Now.
Oh, Cody Carpentier on Twitter. Yep. And at Matty Kiwoom on Twitter. You can follow the show on Twitter at Dynasty Roundtable or FF Dynasty Table on Twitter. If I can say the correct name of the show on the show. Matt Babbage, go follow him on Twitter at Babbage_Matt10. You can follow me on Twitter at Seth_DIEWOLD. That's going to do it for us. But hey, Dynasty, there's no off season. And have you guys seen this documentary, this Aaron Rodgers documentary on Netflix yet?
It's beautiful.
Is it beautiful? I saw
back to Minnesota Vikings, baby.
Minnesota Vikings.
There's no way on earth you seriously want that.
JJ, are you going to trade JJ McCarthy or what's going on?
No. JJ's chilling. JJ's chilling.
Chilling.
I would rather start a right-handed JJ or a left-handed JJ McCarthy. then
You really want Rodgers to come in there and give him some ayahuasca and say,
I was just saying, I think Cody's on ayahuasca right now.
This playbook is really just a metaphor for life, or that's some bullshit like that. I don't know.
He's the big, most
You really
full
want
of
him
shit professional athlete of all time.
Really
The
want
biggest
Aaron
bull
Rodgers to be a mentor to JJ McCarthy. You're insane.
Bring over Devontae Adams. He gets to reconnect with Aaron Jones.
see what Randall Cobb's up to.
No, listen. Tell me this doesn't sound good if Rodgers plays like he did on Sunday. Bring over Devontae Adams, Jefferson on the other side, Addison in the slot, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Rodgers, healthy Christian Darrisaw. Who's stopping that offense?
The defense.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers.
Whatever defense is across from
Aaron
it.
Rodgers is the only answer to that. But even then, you pull him out, you put Daniel Jones in, you're good.
Yeah, because Rodgers will be fine with that. It's like, yeah, just put Daniel Jones.
Accounts. People like Cody have taken over the internet, and that's why we see what we see when we log into X.com, the everything app. It's all happening on X.
I'm sure that.
You guys can tell how serious I'm taking this quarterback situation.
I'm sure that Aaron Rodgers would love the. He's going to be talking to Woody Johnson tonight, and I'm sure he'll have a 5-year deal here soon. But nobody cares about Aaron Rodgers. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry about Chase Brown again. I'm going to continue to apologize for that. I said Chase Brown stinks like multiple times on this podcast. Turned out I was wrong about that. I think that's it. I think we did it. Thank you to Matty and Cody. And until next time, be good, everybody. And we will see you later. And again, nobody cares about Aaron Rodgers.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and there are going to be more videos that magically appear right over there. Look at them. There are more videos you can click on to watch if you like this content. So maybe you should do that.